Well, now we're ready to thread the reed. I want to show you how I have it. I have a stick here going from the front beam to the back beam. It's kind of hard to see the back beam, but it goes there. And I have another one. These are actually leaf sticks for a larger loom. And then I put my reed across them. So it's laying across the two. Makes it easy to thread, and I'll show you how I do that shortly. But first of all, we need to talk a little bit about the reed. This one is a 12 dent. I'm going to zero in on it. And now I'm going to put a little booklet that I happen to have. Now there's a lot of charts out there that you can find on the internet. This is a little page out of a book that I've had for a while. And if you look across the top, there are numbers, and that's where it says dents per inch. And on the left side of the chart, it says reed chart, order of sleigh and reed. And that's what you can do a search on the internet for, a reed chart. Now each one has all these little columns. If you recall, my calculations were to do 18 ends per inch. I like to do 18 ends per inch, and I had to look through my stash to see what kind of reeds I have. Well, I have an 8 dent, I have 10, I have 12, I have 15, and I even have, no, I don't have an 18, I have a 20 is what I have. Well, I decided I wanted to do something that was kind of easy for me to remember, and I decided to go with a 12 dent. Now, if you stay with me a moment, I'm going to go down the chart here. Here's a 12 dent. I go down until it says 18 ends per inch. Then I'm going to go across the chart. So go across from 18, I come all the way over here, and it says 1, 2. What does that mean? That means that I am going to put 1 thread in one dent and 2 threads in the next dent. So if you feel like you're limited because you only have 1 reed, well, you can do a lot with it. Now, of course, if I didn't have the exact 18, I would have to kind of move things around. So if I had a 10 dent, if you look at the 10 dent, it would have to be 17 ends per inch. So those are things you need to, you want to calculate, or you want to look at ahead of time to make sure that you have a reed that's going to work with your project. It's now time to thread the reed. Sometimes you get a reed, and I have had people who put markers here. Of course, it's hard with black on this one. Sometimes it's a piece of thread, and what they're doing is they're measuring the center. I don't have it on this one, but I'm going to take a look. This reed is 26 inches long, and half of it would be 13. I'm going to put that mark right at 13. Now, if you recall, the warp is, the width of this warp is 16 inches. So I'm going to go over 8 inches from the center, and that's where I'm going to start to thread my reed. Now, what's nice is that sometimes I just take my measuring, put that in there so I know where I'm going to start. Here is one of the groups, the first group that I connected. I'm going to loosen that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the very first thread. Now, as you can see, I have it laid across, and there's 2 different ways of doing this. You can take it and loop it and have the hook facing the loom if you want, or maybe you prefer to have the hook facing you. And then what you do is you wrap it around and pull it through. Now, of course, with this pattern, what I indicate is going to be 1, 2, 2. So I started with 1 and 1, and what I'm going to do is actually start with another one. I'm in the habit of going away from myself, so to speak. So we have 1 and then 2, because that's what I need to do with a 12 dent reed. And I'm going to go again with the 1, take my hook through, 1, and then I'm going to pull across 2, put those 2 in. I'm going to take the next one, then the two, 1 and 2. And then what I'll do is I will group them or tie them at the bottom with that overhand knot, and then I will continue on. I will take the next group out, and again the next one starts with 1, push that over, then I kind of take my finger, move them to the side, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then comes the brown. I have a 2, 1, and 2. What I'll do then, don't need to keep the measuring that in there anymore. And now I have started with that. I'm going to continue on until I get to the very end, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, I'm halfway through and I forgot to mention 2 things. First of all, I was using my lower chair when I was threading the heddles, and when I went to thread the reed, I went to my warping bench. The other thing, just to remind you, that I still have the shafts raised on the blocks of wood, and I still have not taken the lee sticks nor the rattle off the loom yet. Just wanted to make sure that that information was shared. All right, doesn't that look pretty? Everything's all threaded into the reed. I'm going to move the beater up here and take the reed, put that here. I'm going to take the one stick out and take the other one. And now I need to make sure that I don't have any of these stuck underneath the reed. So those are okay. And I have my beater, or my top part of the beater, and I am going to attach that to the top here. I'll line it up just the right way. Loosen it. Okay, and I bring it down, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of straighten all those things up. I'm going to also take the 2 blocks of wood out, or books, or whatever you might have, because I want to make sure that all of this comes out nice and neat. I have not taken the lee sticks out. And the other thing I'll start to do is I haven't tightened the top part yet. I want to make sure that this is lined up and centered fairly well. Looks pretty good. Now I will tighten the wing nuts. I'm not sure however your loom works. You get to tighten each one of those. And then the next part, what I will be doing is I will be bringing this all the way up here, and I will start to tie all of these on. What I like